China is stepping up its plan to take over Taiwan really fast. Seriously, what's up with China getting so invadey all of a sudden? Welcome to China Uncensored. I'm Matt Ganejda, filling in for Chris Chappell while he fulfills his lifelong dream of snowboarding down Mount Everest. The Nepal side, not the China side. So, China has been preparing for a Taiwan invasion for decades. It's been growing and modernizing its military rapidly. That's in part due to getting support from American companies and universities, which is not the topic for today. I'm just angry about it. Anyway, China's People's Liberation Army, the PLA, has recently been doing live fire drills in the Taiwan Strait, practicing blockades of the island and creating these invasion barges, which are ugly, but so is war. Oh, and they've been launching cyber attacks. But in particular, the PLA has been violating Taiwanese waters, bit by bit, more and more each time. According to Taiwan's defense ministry, Chinese ships now cross the median line in the Taiwan Strait on average about 120 times per month. The median line is the unofficial sea border between the two countries, and China is just making it even more unofficial. Somehow those double negatives don't make a positive. On top of that, PLA warplanes enter Taiwan's air defense identification zone more than 245 times a month. Compare that to just 5 years ago, when similar air violations were less than 10 times a month. So yeah, it's getting way worse, really fast. And every time the PLA does this, Taiwan has to scramble its own jets to push back. And it's exhausting. This is gray zone warfare at its most insidious. Aggressive measures that gradually ramp up, but stop just short of China putting boots on the ground. These activities normalize the CCP's aggression without leading to open conflict, and the CCP is really good at it. Make no mistake, we are on a countdown to China's invasion of Taiwan. In fact, according to Taiwanese and US officials and experts, China has greatly improved its ability to launch a sudden attack on Taiwan, which should come as a surprise to literally nobody since the CCP has been openly boasting about this. According to one high-ranking Taiwanese military official, Chinese Air Force and missile units that would play a role in a Taiwan invasion have improved to the point where they can switch from peacetime to war operations anytime. And by peacetime, they mean entering Taiwan's air defense identification zone 245 times a month? I don't think that word means what they think it means. Meanwhile, the PLA Navy has been busy. Last year, they conducted a training maneuver simulating how they'd approach Taiwan. Yep, just a peaceful, peacetime simulation of invading a foreign nation. According to the Financial Times, a U.S. Department of Defense official said the Chinese Coast Guard and PLA Navy usually have around a dozen ships deployed near Taiwan. That, with the combination of ports nearby, meant that the PLA Navy could move into a blockade posture in a matter of hours. The presence of warships also means that the PLA could launch an aerial attack on Taiwan without warning. And China isn't neglecting its ground forces. Sure, Xi Jinping's military reforms lately seem to be mainly about purging generals and cementing his personal grip on power. But he's also broken up army units into smaller and more flexible groups, including 6 amphibious combined arms brigades deployed on the coast opposite from Taiwan. Because of their constant training and strategic location, they can be ready to go invadey at a moment's notice. China's also got the new PHL-191 multiple rocket launch system. It has a range of 180 miles, meaning those rockets can hit Taipei from the Chinese mainland. They're cheaper than other missile systems, faster to reload, and harder to detect. The PLA has been practicing with these ever since Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan in 2022, and virtually every Taiwan-focused drill since then, which is such overkill. If you want to scare Nancy Pelosi, you don't need missiles. You just need a slippery bathtub. Anyway, the practice is paying off. According to one U.S. Army War College expert on the PLA, during the Pelosi visit, the PLA practiced different operations on different days. But fast forward to the last Taiwan-focused air exercise, and they were doing them all concurrently, which shows that they're getting more confident that they're able to command and control major operations. And that scares everybody. But fortunately, it's not that scary compared to what I'm going to tell you next. According to the South China Morning Post, a mainland Chinese military magazine called Naval and Merchant Ships recently outlined China's plan for a total systems collapse and how that could knock out Taiwan without a fight. That plan involves targeting key infrastructure, including ports, water facilities, liquefied natural gas facilities, power plants, and data hubs. They can do that with precision strikes, cyber attacks, electromagnetic pulses, and engineered pseudo-natural disasters. Wait, pseudo-natural disasters? Like a man-made typhoon? Somewhere a Bond villain is taking notes. The Chinese magazine identified between 30 and 40 so-called supercritical nodes in Taiwan that, if taken offline, would basically crash the country. Man, Taiwanese people are going to be so mad when their phones can't get reception because everything around them is exploding. For example, China's recent Straight Thunder 2025A drill, cited in that article, simulated a strike on Taiwan's biggest liquid natural gas depot. Taiwan also imports a lot of goods, such as crude oil and food. It only has a few months' worth of stockpiles, which almost certainly would be targeted in any Chinese attack. One would hope that an attack from China would rally the Chinese people around the flag and strengthen their resolve. And having been to Taiwan many times, I can say that I believe a lot of young people there would step up to defend their island. But if there's a Chinese blockade and food supplies start to dwindle, this could eventually erode Taiwanese resistance, which would make it easier for China to land troops. The Taiwan government, for its part, is taking a tougher stance toward China. Taiwan has been preparing for the worst-case scenario with several military exercises of its own, including one currently underway until the end of the month. China also knows that Taiwan has strong allies who may be willing to defend it, and supply the island with joint training and a lot of advanced military equipment. In fact, the CCP has loudly been complaining about US weapons being sent to Taiwan over the past several years. Gee, I wonder why the US would be sending Taiwan more weapons. I can't think of a single reason, I listed in detail over the last 5.5 minutes. All of these preparations and Taiwan's current stance against the CCP are no doubt one of the reasons the CCP has had to up its invasion game. And the CCP's aggression isn't curbed by the fact that, while Chinese military drills have been met with widespread outrage from among many of Taiwan's allies, they also haven't resulted in any concrete threats to China or concrete promises that they'd come to Taiwan's aid. And that's sort of the point of China's increasingly aggressive but still technically gray zone exercises. It's like combining "I'm not touching you" with slowly boiling a frog. Which, by the way, if you ever see a kid combining those two things, run, because he's going to grow up to be a serial killer. But one thing is certain. The CCP plans to invade Taiwan, and they will, as soon as they're pretty sure they can get away with it. Some analysts think the invasion could come as soon as 2027. The CCP's planning, military equipment, and training are all better than ever. So the rest of the world needs to stop hitting snooze on the Taiwan alarm clock. Because the CCP isn't bluffing. It's not even slow rolling. It's speed running how to conquer a democracy like it's trying to set a world record on Twitch. I just hope the international community responds with more than a strongly worded tweet. So if you like what we do on China Uncensored, join our community over at ChinaUncensored.tv. You'll be supporting what we do, and there's tons of videos you won't see on YouTube. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video before YouTube decides it angers China and quietly buries it underneath 47 videos about pandas. Once again, I'm Matt Gnezda. Thanks for watching China Uncensored.